You're not going to think about it, but you need to make eye contact with that man right there. If he don't know your name, you need to let him know your name. He has to list you as a winner. If he does not list you as a winner, you're going to be listed as a loser, and you're going to go down to the loser's bracket. All right? So, one thing I'm going to tell you about right here real quick is the chalk bucket is always down here by the steps. We're going to keep it down here by the steps. That's actually an IRPA standard, is to keep the chalk bucket by the steps, and it does a lot of things. Mainly as the refs and the guys that are up here all day long breathing in the chalk. After about 2 hours of breathing in chalk, we really start to have a bad headache and we nosebleed for the next 2 or 3 days. I'm telling you, it's terrible. So keep your chalk buckets down here by the steps. If you need chalk, go ahead and chalk up, chalk your elbow, chalk your hand before you walk up on the steps. We would appreciate that very much. I think y'all see the tables up here kind of funky. We got one table down on the floor, 2 tables up top. The primary reason for that is we're going to try to run most of the pros up here on the stage. We're going to try to keep the down table down there just for amateurs and masters. Now it may change some. Y'all see the numbers on the table, so listen to the number that you're called for. But just as a rule of thumb, primarily we're going to keep the pros here, the M's down here. All right, we are running rigid rules here, okay? Rigid rules is the IFA rules, WAF rules with the armed dangerous positions included with WAF rules, and PAL. So if you've ever pulled any of those rules, those strict rules, then you're good to go. But if you haven't, if all you've been doing is pulling little small tournaments around, and this is your first large tournament to come to, or a state championship tournament, or a rigid rule tournament, you really need to focus on that. We do rigid rules for several different reasons, all right? One of the big reasons we do rigid rules is to get you guys ready for larger tournaments, because any national championship tournament, any international championship tournament, any world championship tournament is going to use rigid rules. So it's going to do you an injustice if we let y'all slide with little small things here. You get used to pulling like that, and if you go pull at one of those larger tournaments, they're going to foul you out and you're going to go home. You're going to have a real short day. The main reason we use rigid rules is for safety, okay? Have y'all ever heard of an organization called the WAL? Anybody ever heard of that organization? They have the loosest rules out of any organization, okay? I want to tell you all about their World Championship Tournament in Vegas in 2017. I was there. They had 6 arm breaks and 3 torn bicep muscles in one tournament because they didn't stop matches. All right, rigid rules keeps you safe and it keeps it fair. All right, so we're using rigid rules here. And then we're going to go over the rules. When the bracket man calls your name to the table, you have 60 seconds to walk to the table. If you do not come to the table in 60 seconds, we're going to call the winner, the other person, you didn't show up. When you walk to the table, you're going to shake your competitor's hand, and you have 30 seconds to achieve a fair and neutral grip. If both of you are jockeying around trying to get a grip, we let the time keep on ticking down. And after 30 seconds, we'll go into what's called a ref strip. And we're going to go back to ref strip in a second. If one person comes up to the table and he has a perfect setup and he's ready to go, he's not doing anything wrong, and the other person upside the table, he's doing all this jockeying around, he's trying to get a ref strip. This other guy over here, he may not want a ref strip. So I'm going to stop this guy. I'm going to say, you have to try to get a grip. He keeps on, this other guy's still perfect. I'm going to give him a warning, okay? Most of the time, before he gets 2 warnings, the time's going to expire anyway, but he's at least going to have that 1 warning on him. So you both guys have to at least try to get a neutral, fair grip. All right, back to the ref strip. After 30 seconds, and you don't get that, you both are jockeying around and you go into the ref strip, that's exactly what that is. That's the ref strip. You have forfeited your right for your grip, and now you're going to the ref strip. The referee is going to move your elbow from the front to the back or back to the front, depending on where he needs to have your hands over the center of the table. You can put your elbow where you want to from side to side, but he's going to move your elbow where he needs it, front to back or back to front. Okay, he's going to place your shoulders square with the table. He's going to give you commands not to move your elbows, not to move your shoulders. He's going to ask you if you want to go over or under. You want to go over your thumb like this or under your thumb like this. You're going to tell him. He's going to tell you which one he's going to close first. And then once he tells you do not move, you cannot move. You can't move. If you set your elbow back here and you move it forward just a fraction, he's going to stop it. He's going to issue a foul. Any movement in a ref grip equals a foul. 2 fouls is a loss. Okay. In a false start scenario, ordinarily a false start is always 1 warning. A false start in a ref grip is a foul. Any movement in a ref grip is a foul. 2 warnings equal 1 foul. 2 fouls equal loss. All right. The referee's going to get you fair and center. He's going to say, ready, go. A pin is defined as any part from your wrist to your fingertips either touches the pad or goes below the invisible line between the 2 pads, okay? This is parallel pin. If you go down, you don't have to touch the pad, but if you go below the pad, any part of your wrist from your fingertips, could be any part of your hand, knuckles, from your fingertips to your wrist, goes below that imaginary plane, I'm going to stop and issue a foul. As long as it's on the winning side of the table. The neutral side of the table is in between the elbow pads right here. Listen, this happens all the time. I want to demonstrate this right here. Just back them up. I want to show you all what we see happen all the time. If people don't understand this, they think that it's a pin. 2 competitors will drive straight down in the match, and they'll get down below the pin pad, below the imaginary line. So this guy, he's on top. He thinks he just won the match. They're still in the neutral side of the table. So one has to push to the other, but even though they're below, one has to push to the winning side of the table. You cannot win the match in the neutral side of the table. You can only win it on your winning side of the table. So this is where you have to be careful of. Most times when this happens right here, they're going to stop and somebody's going to come over their elbow and they're going to think that it's over. So when we see you go down, we're not going to stop it. We're going to wait for somebody to elbow foul, and we're going to call it elbow foul. So just be sure to keep your elbow down and push your competitor to your winning side of the table. There's 2 dangerous positions that we look for, and these are new rules that were just implemented since 2019 with the IFA. And that's the rules that we're competing under right now. One is basically the king's move, okay? So it's what we call a dangerous position. And that's if the competitor drops down, he drops his shoulder below the pin pad. If he's in neutral position or losing position, he is in a dangerous position. We're going to give him a command to come up. He has 2 seconds to come up. If he does not come up in those 2 seconds, we're going to stop the match. We're going to issue a foul. If he does come up, we give him a command to come up, and he comes up, he's fine. But if he drops back down again, we're going to stop immediately. We're going to issue the foul and reset it. Yes, yeah. Now, the adverse part of this move is he can drop down below the pad as far as he wants to, as long as he's on the winning side of the table. That's anywhere, that's dictated from 12 o'clock at his side. Anywhere past 12 o'clock at his side is his winning side of the table, so he may drop down below the table as far as he wants to. That's not a dangerous position. The other dangerous position is when you turn your shoulders out, your elbow goes behind your body and you look away from your hands. We're going to do the same thing. If you're an amateur, we're going to stop that immediately. If you're not an amateur, we're going to give you a command to shoulder in. You have 2 seconds to come in. If you don't bring your shoulder in 2 seconds, we're going to stop it. Same thing, you bring your shoulder in and you bring your shoulder back out again, we're going to stop it, issue a foul. We have center line of the tables right here. There's no part of your body that's allowed to cross the center line. Your shoulders, your head, nothing can cross the center line. This is his side of the table, this is his side of the table. If you cross the center line of the table with anything other than your hand, we're going to stop it, issue a foul. Alright, you're not allowed to touch your hand to your body. If your hand touches your shoulder or your chin, if your hand or your opponent's hand, if you touch your body anywhere with the hands, then we stop and issue a foul. Intentional slips. This is a controversial topic. I've heard on Facebook a pretty good bit lately since our tournament in Vegas. There is professional slips. You can slip on purpose as long as you do it the right way. There are 3 ways we're going to call intentional slip and issue a foul. One way is a very obvious one, if you have your hands completely open when you slip. If all of your fingers are open when you slip, that's an intentional slip. Now the way to get by that, keep one finger down. If you can keep one finger down, I can't call it an intentional slip. If all of your fingers are open, we have to call it an intentional slip. The other one is when you bail straight to the tabletop on the go. When you bail him under his hand straight to the tabletop, we're going to call an intentional slip there. That's a little bit harder one to call. Another one that's pretty easy to call is when you ball your hand up inside your competitor's hand, and you're not able to hold the grip, and they're not able to hold on. Now, this also happens whenever during the course of pulling a lot of times. So this is basically on the go. If you ball your hand up on the go and you slip, that's an intentional slip. But during the course of pulling, if your hands start sliding apart, and you cannot maintain a grip because you're gradually sliding apart during the course of pulling, that's not an intentional slip. That's not what we're talking about. Any foul in a losing position is a loss. Losing position is defined as 2 inches from the pin pad or lower. If you have any kind of foul within 2 inches of the pin pad, we're going to issue a winner to your opponent. You are allowed to ask for a strap or a ref strip when you walk up to the table. If both of you agree to a strap or a ref strip, we'll put you in the ref strip right off the bat. We'll put you in the strap right off the bat if both of you agree to it. Okay? Again, let Brad know when you win. If you do not let Brad know that you won, he's going to issue a loss and you're going to the loser's bracket. I want to thank y'all for coming out here today. This is the Louisiana State Championship Tournament. Again, it's rigid rules. It should be rigid rules because this is a very important, this is the longest running tournament in the world that I know of. I don't know if there's another tournament. Chop, has there been any tournament consecutively ran longer than this one? Top 3 for sure. I think he's being modest. I think it's number 1. All right. I'm going to call it number 1 anyway because we're from the South, we're the deep South. We're all from the South, so we're going to say it's number 1 down here. We're number 1 Louisiana. We got strict rules, IFA rules. Brad's bracket man, I'll get the mic back over to Chop. And listen, if you guys...
Louisiana, what's going on? Ready to do a little arm wrestling? Sound like y'all sleepy. Come on now, let's go. Alright. I'm going to call out every weight division, every person's name. Bear with me. But I want to make sure everyone has got almost 200 inches, guys. So I want y'all to pay attention to this. If you don't hear your name, please come up here and let me know before I make brackets, okay? Women's left hand. One more thing. If I butcher your name, I am very sorry. I speak fluent Southern Baptist. I love all the Louisiana folks, but I can get that. Emily Deshotel. Bethany Ritchie, Andrea Clark. That was women's left hand. Women's right hand. Emily Deshotel. Bethany Ritchie, Macy Hicks, Andrea Clark. Nobody in Masters, 165 left hand. Masters, 198 left. Paul Hicks, Craig Millett, Ken Williamson. No one in 199 plus left hand left. Somebody in 165 Masters right. 198 right Masters. Stephen Edwards, Paul Hicks, Craig Millett, Ken Williamson, Keith Portell. 199 plus right hand Masters. Carl Segan, Herbie Walker, Mark Rudderman, David Richardson. Youth, left hand, Emily Deshotel, Macy Hicks, Xavier Cassidy. Emily Deshotel, Macy Hicks, and Xavier Cassidy. Both the same names as left and right hand. All right, amateurs. What weight did you take down here? What weight did you take down here? Amateurs 154 left. Aiden Bergeron, Landon Hicks, Avery Sloper, Austin Gentleman. Hey guys, y'all stay with me. That was a lot, so you gotta pay attention. 176 left hand, amateur, Eric Phelps, Max Carvajal, Brandon Burlew, Michael LeGrand, Wardell Ferguson. 198 left, amateur, Tim Bridges, Clayton Risotto, Trey Miller, Blair, Keith Porchak. 242 left, amateur, Dakota McKinney, Clint Collins, Chance Nesney, Aaron Ricks, Sean DeRay, Cameron DeRay, Ryan Dornier, Daniel Sunderland. Supers left hand, amateurs, Colt Elmore, Charles Astor, Clint Collins, Patrick Caserta, Waylon Phillips. Amateur 154 right hand, Landon Hicks, Avery Sloper, Jeremiah Newell, Austin Gentleman. 176 right amateurs, Garrett Phelps, Max Carvajal, Sean Cassidy, Brandon Burlew, Michael LeGrand, Wardell Ferguson, and Aiden Bergeron. 198 right hand, Stephen Edwards, Tim Bridges, Clayton Risotto, Aaron Arnold, Trey Miller, Keith Porchak. 242 right hand amateur, Dakota McKinney, Clint Collins, Chance Nesney, Aaron Ricks, Cameron Delray, Ryan Dornier, Daniel Sunderland. Supers right hand amateur, Colt Elmore, Charles Astor, Clint Collins, Seth Yeats, Mark Brodman, Patrick Caserta, Zach Foster, Waylon Phillips. Pro 154 left hand, Tony Kaiser, R.J. Mulliner, Levi Knight, Eric Sabato, Dickie Lejeune, Landon Hicks, Abelardo Carvajal, Billy Booth, Robert Kelly, Jason Montgomery, Cameron Williamson, Austin Jennings, and Brandon Hyde. Be a good one there, guys. 76 left-hand pro, Albert Dean, Grant Bundy, Kyle Hebert, Nick Amorose. 98 left, pro, Paul Hicks, Cody Haggard, Craig Millett, Zach Wagner, Willie Schlabel, Seth Evans. 242 left-hand pro, Tucker Keating, Jerome Loud, Clint Collins, Caleb Ricks, Jordan Seal, Bill Cochran, Caleb Jones. Pro Supers left-hand, Nick Michelle, Frank Cabrera, Peyton Chancey, Josh Bell, Jacob Bell, Wilton Rock, Elvin Delray, Josh Jarvis, and Brandon Wayne. Pro, last bit of it, guys. Pro 154 right hand, Tony Kaiser, R.J. Mulliner, Levi Knight, Eric Shimada, Dickie Lejeune, Landon Hicks, Abelardo Carvajal, Billy Boo, Robert Kelly, Jason Montgomery, Cameron Williamson, and Brendan Adams. 176 right-hand pro, Tony Kaiser, Jay Mulliner, Grant Bundy, Kyle Hebert, Nick Amoroso. 198 right-hand, Robbie K, Kyle Kent, Stephen Edwards, Paul Hicks, Cody Haggard, Craig Millett, Zach Wagner, Willie Schlabel, Seth Evans. Sorry about that, William. Pro 242 right hand, y'all get ready for this. Tucker Keating, Jerome Loud, Doug Allen, Clint Collins, Austin McGraw, James Chancey, Seth Yeats, Craig Coulier, Caleb Ricks, Dan Mosier, Jordan Seal, Bill Cochran, and Caleb Gorman.